Yeah. Hey, I missed you guys. How are y'all doing? Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love, to Astro Fenixx, flying into the moment yet again, and radiating love, as always. We're going to be talking about this new moon in Scorpio. I'm not going to be live for super long, but I wanted to come on here and, of course, offer my 2 cents. I know a lot of people probably already made their videos about this new moon. But as a representative of the Scorpio energy, I do have a rather interesting and unique perspective on this new moon. Cheers. What is up? How are you doing? Steph83, thank you so much. Much love to you as well on this new moon. Thank you so much for joining. I just thought I would play some music in the background because music is so amazing, and one of my intentions lately has been to keep music sacred and pure. So I wanted to play some nice chill set music. The person who uploaded it called it Lunar Chill Step too, which is kind of nice. I thought that was applicable. Let's just take a moment to hold space for gratitude. Gratitude for this moment. Gratitude for this energy. Gratitude for this experience, for all the people in our experience. No matter how we may perceive it as, whether we feel like it enhances us, doesn't do much to us, or hold us back, let's hold gratitude for these people, for these experiences, for this space. Let's take time to appreciate all of the beautiful things in this now. Let's place our hands on our heart and take a few deep breaths together. Doesn't have to be at the same exact time, so long as we're doing it together in this space. That is what counts, beloved. I like to smile on the exhale. Navigating by the stars, follow your bliss. Beautiful card to start off. Let's cut the deck, and we have the card of Mystic Healer. Healing energy flows through you. One more card, and we have Reaching Your Destination. Your light is shining brightly. Interesting. Navigating by the stars, follow your bliss. So we are definitely on some type of journey, right? This looks like a journeyman, right? Following our bliss, navigating by the stars, by the moon. What's interesting about the new moon too is that on a clear night with the new moon, you know, while the moon does light up the sky, it does bring this sort of attention to the stars, because the new moon is an aspect that's not really illuminated, right? It is dark. You cannot see it. But there's this aspect of how the stars almost sort of become the center of focus. So following our bliss and remembering that we can all heal our lives in such a powerful way. Along this journey, when we follow our bliss, we are going to encounter situations, people, experiences that are going to try and knock us down. But in all of that, ultimately, we will reach our destination and the light is shining brightly through us. What's interesting about this is that this castle, this magical place, is kind of in this little bubble. It's in this little bubble. It's in this space. It's in this sort of container. And Scorpio is very much so a container. Scorpio does rule boundaries. So we have with the new moon of Scorpio, this is a time where we actually set new boundaries. We create this sort of container, this sort of womb, if you will, so we can actually really, plant this seed within this womb and it can be born. If you think about it, Cancer is the mother, Pisces is the fluid itself, and then Scorpio is the actual container, the womb. So right now, we are all in the womb right now. And what we are doing here with this new moon is that we're giving birth to this new self. And this new self is really the destination. The destination isn't really a far off place. It's not really a far off destination. It's not really a particular job. The destination isn't a particular, amount of money or for a particular person that we may be pursuing romantically. The destination is coming into our higher self, coming into this deeper sense of ourself that truly is one with the universe. And we already are one with the universe, whether we realize it or not. But it is this sense of self that is aware of its oneness with the universe. That's the beautiful thing about this. But interesting though is that new moons are subtle, right? They're not as obvious as full moons, right? Full moons are bright. It's the sun of the night, if you really think about it, or it's the moon of the day. Let's go that way as well. Full moons are this opportunity for us to, release, but there also are in many ways beginnings. New moons are beginnings, but in many ways they're also endings. It's kind of weird how that works, especially how we are so concerned with light in this reality, right? Things that are in the light are seen as positive. Things that are seen in the dark are seen as negative, usually, right? But new moons typically are beginnings, which we like beginnings. We all like beginnings. And full moons, which are illuminations, signify endings, which we don't necessarily like endings, right? It depends on what it is, but we typically don't like endings. But we love. Think about the energy when you're beginning something new, and think about the energy when you're like finishing something up. You know what I mean? They are kind of two different energies, but they are kind of right next to each other. And depending upon what you're doing, kind of does determine, in many ways, sort of like the outcome of whether you like that ending or that beginning. If you're ending a relationship that just didn't go well, yeah, you can be excited. But usually we don't necessarily like endings because they can be tough at first, right? But then there is this sort of illumination that comes afterwards. Same with beginnings. We don't necessarily we enjoy beginnings, but the thing about beginnings is that we don't necessarily know where this thing is going, but it's exciting and it's mysterious. So, especially with the new moon in Scorpio, there is this mystery. There's this mysterious energy that's coming on where something new is beginning and we don't necessarily know where exactly it's going to go. Especially with Scorpio, it's already a very mysterious, occult kind of energy. Occult simply means hidden. So think about a new moon in Scorpio. This is probably one of the most hidden moons. It's already a dark moon. You can't see it. And it's in the sign of hidden energy, occult, and secrets. This is some really subconscious shit, guys. It really is. And this is the energy that we're going to be experiencing over the next 24 hours as the moon comes into its apex with this new moon. What's interesting also about this, though, is the fact that the new moon is going to be opposing over to Uranus. That's exactly why I call this the price of purification. Scorpio energy is very much so a sign of purification, because you need that purification before you get the Sagittarius. You need to go through the darkness, through the fixed water of Scorpio, before you reach that mutable fire of Sagittarius, before you begin to structure your beliefs and stuff like that. Scorpio is a very purifying energy. A lot of times people like to think of Scorpio as dark, toxic, poisonous. It's synonymous with a scorpion, which stings people, despite the fact that it usually uses its claws more than its stinger. A lot of times the stinger is more like a last minute, it's like a last minute resort, so to speak. But that's kind of the interesting thing about Scorpio. Scorpio is also ruled by the eagle. Philadelphia Eagles fly. We actually won today. Shameless plug for my favorite sports team. But I was honestly I wasn't super surprised, because I've liked the Philadelphia Eagles for a long time. And I've been interested in astrology for a long time. But I discovered after the fact that the eagle was actually a totem animal traditionally of Scorpio. And I am a Scorpio. I'm a 12th house Scorpio sun, with also Mars and Pluto here. So I thought it was just kind of interesting how my favorite NFL team, despite the fact that I'm not from Philadelphia and I've never been there before, happens to be the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Eagles happens to be a totem animal of Scorpio. And the eagle kind of actually represents this more Martian energy of Scorpio, where it's about, flying high above, kind of soaring to these new heights. Mars is exalted in Capricorn, which is the mountain, but then the eagle can fly above the mountain. So it's even like this, it's like this incredible ambition, right, that the eagle represents. And with this new moon, it's going to take a lot of these things deep within our subconscious, and it's going to make us more ambitious. We're going to be flying high, and we have this great, beautiful view of the landscape. But what happens when we're up there? We can get isolated because not too many animals can fly above there. So then what happens? You have the dove. You have the scorpion, you have the eagle, and the dove. These are the three traditional totem animals of the Scorpio, right? I need mods. I mean, if you want to talk about Lucifer, we could talk about Lucifer, because Lucifer, it has the word luz in it, and luz literally means light in Spanish. So Lucifer was just the light bringer. You're essentially talking about kind of like a fucus kind of energy. So I'm not going to mod you. But if you want to talk about Lucifer, Lucifer was just a light bringer. But there are many light bringers. Lucifer wasn't the only light bringer, if you want to really talk about this shit. If you want to come on here and start to troll my ass and stuff like that, Lucifer is the way, the truth, the light. Lucifer is just one of many lights. And if honestly you're going to come in here and start trolling about Lucifer like this, I'm just saying, this is what you said. You said it in all caps, bruh. You're saying, bruh, I'm going to come back and fire back at you. I'm just saying, Lucifer is one of several lights. As last I look up in the sky and I see millions upon billions of stars. Lucifer is only one of those stars, bro. I'm sorry, but there are multiple ways to the truth, and Lucifer is just only one of them. So we can get caught up in all this shit. We can get caught up in thinking that only one person is the light or one being is the light, and the light for however long we need to. But ultimately, you're going to end up lost because you have to follow the light of your own truth. Anyways, as I was fucking saying, the thing about Scorpio is that we have these three totems, and a lot of times it goes between these three different areas. A lot of times, Scorpios, what they will experience is that they fluctuate between being the scorpion, between being the eagle, and between being the dove. The dove, of course, is this representation of purity. The dove is this representation of even hope. Because you think about it, Scorpio rules this sort of darkness, right? And if you think about the story of Noah, which a lot of you may be familiar with the story of Noah, how they're on the boat for 40 days and 40 nights, how Noah kept sending out different kinds of birds to see if they can bring back some indication that there was land, right? And then eventually he sent out the dove brought back an olive branch. So it actually represents that there is hope out there, that even in the darkest situations, even in the most tumultuous of storms, there is light, there is truth, there is salvation. So that in many ways is what the dove represents, is that it's like this sort of purity. What's kind of funny about the dove is that it's closely related to the pigeon, and pigeons are everywhere. And we kind of just shit on pigeons. In fact, we shit on pigeons for shitting themselves, whatever like that, you know, because it's like, oh my gosh, it's just a pigeon one like that, right? But it truly is this sort of interesting energy. It is this sort of purification. And part of the reason why I call this the purification, like the price of purification, is because of this Uranus energy. We have this new moon opposed Uranus in Taurus, right? And it's at 4 degrees, which puts it at a pure degree. If we look at the numerology, you can look this up for yourself. Don't just take my word for it. But 4 is actually the number of Uranus energy, of Aquarius energy. So we have this pure sort of degree. And what is Uranus Aquarius energy? This is rebellion. This is done with the masses. This is people. This is Aquarius energy. This is humanitarianism. But this is in the sign of Taurus. Our values, price. Think about it. Gold, physical materials. So what's happening here is that all of our psychological energies, Scorpio is very much so a very psychological sign, right? What's happening right now is with this opposition with Uranus, we are sort of measuring our psychological values against other people, and we're trying to figure out what really is the price of purification. What is it going to cost for you to make it to the next step? What is it going to cost for you to come into this greater sense of hope that no matter what happens, you will be okay? I'm taking a page out of the book of my wife, how she's saying, no matter what happens, it has no choice but to be okay. No matter what happens, it has no choice but to be okay. And that's kind of crazy, because it's like, it kind of eliminates choice. But the fate that it delivers is that it's always going to be okay, no matter what happens. And I kind of like those odds. I don't know about you, but I like those odds. So it's like, it will be okay. No matter what happens, it will be okay. But what is the price of that? What do you have to do? Scorpio, think about it. It is co-ruled by Mars, and Mars is a very action-oriented sign. So what do you have to do, right? What do you have to do in order for you to manifest this newer sense of yourself, so you can connect with the right people that share the same values of you, and you begin to formulate this tribe? What do you have to do? It's not just enough to be inspired and motivated. I can talk about this because I watch a lot of inspiring and motivating stuff. I watch Joe Rogan podcasts all the time, but I haven't been consistently working out like I want to. And it's like, we live in a culture right now where we are addicted to the initial energy of being inspired and motivated to do something. But we do not like the energy of actually going through with something after we're inspired and motivated to do it. We may do it for like a day or two, but we won't necessarily follow through. I'm talking about myself. This is a mirror, right? This is a huge mirror. And the big thing about this new moon is that we actually have a mirror with the opposition to Uranus. So we'll see it in other people. We're going to look at other people in the collective right now and be like, you know what? I really actually do value that at a deep level. But why can't I actually achieve that thing? How come I haven't been able to achieve that thing? Maybe there is a price for this purification of my soul. The moon represents our soul, the Merkaba. Maybe there is a price for it. The Merkaba is how our soul travels. Interesting, because the moon is ruled by Cancer, and Cancer is cardinal water, so it's about directing water and directing emotion. So that kind of brings up an interesting point. How can we direct our emotion and allow our emotion to be the sort of ship for our being and our vessel, so it can carry us into situations that really resonate with our heart? That's why Leo is after Cancer. When you really, this is interesting because Cancer kind of does rule the chess space. This is why if you can really tap into your emotions and really follow the emotional guidance system, but not simultaneously get caught up in them, then it leads you to that Leo energy. Passion, the roar, all of that fiery energy, that fixed fire energy that comes out, the love in our soul, the love that we have to give to this world. It's kind of funny too because Aquarius is opposed to Leo. Sometimes we can get caught up in giving this love to ourselves and just wanting it for ourselves, but then sometimes we can get caught up in giving it to other people but not focusing on ourselves. That's that whole axis, right? I'm gonna have to get some mods. I already addressed you, bro. I'm not worried about you anymore. Anyways, greetings, HTHV3. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that too. I'm gonna have to get some mods over here and stuff, and just like, I don't know how to see. I'm streaming from this alternate source outside of YouTube, but I'm able to stream it straight to YouTube. It's called StreamYard. So I'm gonna fuck you, dude. I'm not worried about that. So you caught me at a weird time, dude. I'm drinking some Harder's lemonade. You caught me at an awkward time, dude. I'm just saying. It's not awkward, but I'm just saying, like, by most Aquarians and Libras to be overly concerned with others first. Humanitarian, seventh house. That's true, though. You're absolutely right. They are very much so concerned with other people. But, you know, we are in the age of Aquarius and stuff like that, too. So it's going to be this time where we realize, like, we can lose ourselves in the tribe, but we also have to recognize that we still have a self. But in any event, I do want to show you guys the charts real fast, just because there's some interesting things that I saw with this energy, with this new moon. So let's go ahead and share the screen. Let's see if I could. So as you can see, we have this new moon that's going to be coming to its apex very soon. Pretty much in the morning Eastern Standard Time, so right after midnight, this moon is going to apex at around 4 degrees, making this opposition super close to being exact. 37 solar minutes, about 26 or so solar minutes over here. Super freaking close, very close, 4 degrees. This is going to be an absolutely powerful transit. But look at what else we have. We have Mars making its square over to Saturn at the same time. So I want to pay attention to this Martian energy, because this Martian energy, as I've said, Mars is a co-ruler of Scorpio, but it is in Libra and it prefers to be in Aries, or rather be in Scorpio, right? or it would rather be in Capricorn. It doesn't like to be in Libra because Mars just wants to take action, whereas Libra wants to kind of think over the action and doesn't necessarily want to act as impulsively as, you know, Aries would. But let's take a look, shall we, at the full moon in Scorpio that happened about 6 months ago, because this is rather important. Let's move this forward several days. I think it makes it to Scorpio before. It looks like it really makes it. So let's take this back a few hours, and then you'll see. Okay. So pretty much right here, this is the full moon in Scorpio that we had at 27 degrees. Now I want you to take a look at a few things. First of all, we had Venus where Uranus is right now. Uranus is at 4 degrees of Taurus. Venus right here is at 4 degrees of Taurus. So there's this sort of activation of that energy where we're kind of being reminded of what happened here. Not only that, but Uranus is here at 3 degrees. So what's happening here is that Uranus, which is about the masses and it can rule other people, and this is Aquarian energy, at 3 degrees, this is about other people's values. And Venus, which being a personal planet, is about how can other people's values sort of influence us in a sort of quantum way and our values. This is what happened during this full moon. There was this sort of release actually of this energy because this was a full moon in Scorpio. Not only that, but Mercury was here as well at 24 degrees of Taurus, which happens to be the placement that's opposite of my sun because I am a 24-degree Scorpio sun. Now let's look at Mars here. Mars was here at about 1 degree of Cancer, right? It is at 15 degrees of Libra right now. So this is actually a rather interesting aspect that Mars is making to itself, where essentially it was 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 30 degrees, 15 degrees. So it's a 105-degree aspect. This is not a major aspect, but I want to point this out because this is what some people have called as the diamond in the rough aspect or the silver lining aspect. I'm calling it the silver lining aspects. It's a 105-degree aspect. It is essentially between a square, which is typically a challenging aspect, and a trine, which is typically a harmonious aspect. Its technical term is called a squine, but I don't like that term because it sounds weird. I'm going to call this the silver lining aspect. We got to think that for each of us, this Martian-like energy has gone from expressing itself in this Cancerian form, dealing with, emotions and psychic faculties, to Leo, our passions, creativity, Virgo, how we establish this creativity in our daily reality, to now Libra, the people that we're starting to connect with. But this is an aspect where it's between the square and the trine because it's a 105-degree angle that Mars is making to where it's itself. Because Mars, at the beginning, at this full moon in Scorpio, was here at 1 degrees of Cancer. Now, pretty much 105 degrees later, Mars is making an aspect to that point during this new moon. It's more so activated. Why? Why does it matter where Mars was during the full moon? I'll tell you why. We have Uranus here at 4 degrees of Taurus where Venus was. Venus is at 24 degrees of Scorpio. Hey, wasn't Mercury opposite in Taurus during that time at 24 degrees? Did you guys see that? We can take a look back at it in case you didn't quite see it there. But take this forward again, and you'll see that that's actually, that Venus is actually opposing where Mercury was. Look at that. Venus, 24 degrees. Amazing. And look at this. Oh, Mercury is 24 degrees Taurus, excuse me. Look at that. Venus, 24 degrees. Uranus, you got to think about it too. Saturn is a traditional ruler of Aquarius, and Saturn is the father of time. But this is about quantum reality. This is about how timelines aren't linear. They exist on top of each other. This is why a planet can make an aspect to a spot where it was before, and it can matter, especially during pinnacle events, such as a new moon in Scorpio. It wouldn't necessarily matter as much if it was like the moon square the sun or the moon trine the sun. But the fact that it's a new moon makes it more prevalent that this is happening. So what's happening here is that there's this sort of diamond in the rough energy with Mars. We're now in relationships, and the way that we connect with people, there is this sort of energy that is a hybrid of a squaring energy and a trine energy, where it can be a little difficult and challenging, but there is a lot of beauty within that challenge. And really, it is a sort of silver lining. It is a diamond in the rough, to where even if you maybe barely lose, this is going to be a weird example that I'm going to give you guys right now, but I'm going to use football as an example. The Atlanta Falcons suck. I was born in Georgia. Atlanta Falcons was originally my favorite team until it shifted to the Eagles. And it shifted to the Eagles when I was quite young. But I still support the home team. Now, the home team today, they were down 24-0. All right, going into the second half. They lost like, what was it, 27-21? They lost by only 6 points. They put up a hell of a second half. They lost, but honestly, I am so proud of the team for putting up that hell of a good second half and making the game a lot closer. And even though their record, if you look at them externally like a book, if they're 1-6, that game told me that they don't really care about what the record says, that they have a lot more passion and firiness to them than what their record says. And it shows me that they have gusto. It shows me that they have not given up and that they're going to keep on fighting no matter what their fucking record is. So that is the sort of energy. People can look at you right now and they can judge you and label you by your circumstances, but the fact of the matter remains is that if you simply keep putting in the work and you don't give up on yourself and you establish that relationship with yourself, that you're going to go get it no matter what, then there's nothing that they can say that can fucking knock you off your groove, beloved. And that's what this is really about. This energy with Mars being here at 15 degrees, moving from where it's at 1 degree, from the full moon in Scorpio to the new moon. This is this release of these expectations of other people, and they may look at you and they may label you based off of these external circumstances, saying that, oh, you only make this amount of money. Oh, you're with this kind of person. Oh, you do this for a living. But damn it, you may not be where exactly you want to be right now. That's the squaring energy. But damn it, you believe in yourself and you really know that this can go somewhere, and you have experienced tiny miracles along the way and many things to be grateful for. That is the trine. And it doesn't matter what anyone fucking says. It doesn't matter what anyone fucking says. You believe in yourself and you will go forward and you will create and manifest your destiny. Of course, it's nice to have people around that support you. Absolutely. And you do have people that support you, beloved. You do have people that support you. And you're going to discover that as Mars finishes its transit throughout Libra. You're going to discover that. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining. I just like, it's, you know, I do these videos and stuff, and I do this, and it's like, I know I'm talking to myself, that like, even if I never got a single more subscriber from this moment, I feel like I can go back and look at these videos and be like, wow, I was really talking to myself. And it's like, it's awesome, and I love it, and I'm so super appreciative for all of my supporters here, and I really do thank you all for joining me. And you really you don't know how much it means to me. It really does, because like I continue to do this, and I received opposition to this, and it's like, you know. And I don't think the opposition has been necessarily malicious. It's just been not necessarily understanding of why I'm still doing this. I don't think it's been malicious, my opposition. Other people, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that the opposition to me doing this sort of stuff hasn't been per se malicious, just not really understanding, not really seeing the value in it. But I see the value in it. And you obviously see the value in it when you guys tune in. And that is what I really appreciate. And I just can't wait to see where this goes and how this expands. I'm just really excited. I really am. So they'll catch the replay. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. I probably am going to be getting off soon, but we're going to draw, of course, a few more cards for you all. Alice, thank you so much for joining. You made it. But let's draw some cards, see what's going on. We're going to draw a card for the full moon in Scorpio that we are in many ways wrapping up, the new moon in Scorpio, that the sort of initiating energy that we're in, and another card for like sort of like where we're going. And I guess this will be sort of a mirror already to the cards that I drew. So, you know, we got Navigating by the Stars, Mystic Healer, and Reaching the Destination. So we are being healed. There's a purifying energy to this moment already. But sometimes we like to complicate things, and we like to overthink things. So let's see what this Oracle deck says about, you know, the answer is simple Oracle deck. Let's see what it has to say. So first card we have is Create. I've got this card earlier this week. So we have the card of Create. Second card we have is Thank God. Wow. We have Thank God. The third card we have is Reach Out. A whole story was coming to mind here with this. A whole story was coming to mind here. Create, Thank God, and Reach Out. I'm getting the image of an individual who is esteemed. They have been working on their career for a long time. They're successful. They're wealthy. They're well known. They're loved. They're successful in the traditional sense, in the way that people see it, successful people in this day in reality. They've been creating for a long time. But then something happens. On one of their trips, they get stranded on an island. There was a major storm that happened, and somehow they ended up stranded on an island. And then this person had to, in many ways, forget where they came from. They had to forget their career. They had to forget the people that supported them. They had to forget all of these things that made them successful, and they had to learn a new set of skills so they could survive on this island. Time goes by, and at first they curse their circumstances. They're like, why the fuck am I on this island? I had everything. I had the money. I had the girls. I had the men. I had the stuff. I had the house. I had the car. I had the beautiful things. I had the prestige. Time continues to go by, and they're still living. They're thankful. They have food. They found a monkey friend on the island that they that's like their best friend. They're excited. They have a reason to live again. And just as they really start to come to their gratitude, a small boat goes by the island and rescues them. They go back to the city. They go back to their old life. And they realize they can't do it anymore because they've changed. They achieved it all. They lost it all. But they gained something else. And upon gaining that something else, that true sense of who they were, that true sense of love, that true sense of gratitude, now they're going to reach out. They're going to become a public speaker and a motivational speaker and inspire other people that when situations are dire, not only will people reach out to them, just as God reached out to them and said, you can survive on this island by yourself, and that person on the boat that came by and rescued them, but you can reach out to people who may feel stranded on an island. You can reach out to the people who may feel stranded on an island and be like, I love you. You're okay. I got you. I understand. I feel you. You are loved. You're not alone. I promise. All right, guys. I'm going to end it there. I love you so much. I love you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I had a lot of fun doing this. I really did. And enjoy this new moon. Do what you do. And I'm super excited to see where this goes. I'll definitely be seeing you guys on the full moon video. And we'll be super excited to be seeing you guys on the podcast. I have started a new podcast on my channel. I don't know if you know about it, but it's the Astrology is Now podcast that comes out every Monday and Thursday now. So the first 2 episodes are out that I filmed last week, and I'm going to be, of course, doing it again tomorrow. I may go live for it, but it depends. I'm not sure yet. But that will be coming out tomorrow. At the very least, it'll be out tomorrow evening. So, because I do work tomorrow morning. But I love you all so much. You know, go out there, be the best you can, create, remember to hold gratitude, and reach out. It's okay to reach out. It's okay to reach out if you need help. It's okay to reach out if you need help. And it's even okay to reach out to people and help people, even if you don't necessarily feel like you're capable of helping people. Because I guarantee you that while you may not view yourself as successful, quote unquote, you can still help out someone. You can still reach out and lend a hand. You can still help someone out. You really can. I really do believe that. But anyways, I love you all so much. Y'all take care. Stay blessed. Infinite blessings to all of you. And as always, my beautiful brothers and sisters, always remember to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo! Smile often.